So Miley Cyrus literally makes a cameo in this movie and asks me if I wanted to get plastered with her. I mean, she doesn't, ask me myself, but, she's asking the audience. And as far as I'm concerned, when she asked that question, I was the only person in the theater at that point in time. And I was so deliberately torn as to if I should follow that woman into the movie screen. But she's not in the movie that long because it's a cameo. But that was probably one of the best parts of this movie for sure. But this is Drive Away Dolls. Hey guys, it's your guy in the chair here, and look, this is my review for Drive Away Dolls, starring Margaret Qualley, Beanie Feldstein, Matt Damon, Coleman Domingo, and I do not know how to pronounce this girl's last name whatsoever. It sounds like a sneeze, but her first name is Geraldine, and she was in Cockblockers. I'm going to post her last name here, but I'm not even going to attempt to say that last name because I'm going to make a complete ass of myself. But regardless, look, our plot follows two girls who basically take a road trip to get a break away from everything going on in their current lives, and they take a road trip down to Tallahassee, Florida, to visit the Geraldine character's grandmother. And on their journey, they realize that they took the wrong car, or they got given the wrong car when they made the rental purchase in the first place. They got the wrong car. There's something in there involving a briefcase and a body part. I'll leave it that way. There's something involving in the trunk of that car involving a case and a body part that leads them on an adventure that I'm going to say only Ethan Coen could make up, because this movie is It's a lot of things at once. It's a lot of many different things at once, but that's the best way I can describe the plot. And look, just to get into it, before I talk about what kind of threw me off about the movie, or necessarily just didn't resonate with me the way I felt like it should, or the way I should say I wanted it to, what I loved about this movie is Margaret Qualley. She gave one of the best, post-teen Miley Stewart impressions I've ever seen. And when I say Miley Stewart, a lot of you may be thinking I'm trying to say Miley Cyrus. No. I'm saying Miley Stewart from Hannah Montana. Margaret Qualley was 1,000% giving a Miley Stewart impression in this movie, and it worked. She was freaking awesome. I loved Margaret Qualley in this movie. She was so entertaining, so funny, just so full of life. She honestly backpacked a majority of this film because it was lacking in a lot of different areas, but she was the strongest point of this movie. I loved her performance. The Geraldine girl from Cockblockers, who I am so very sorry I cannot pronounce your last name. I probably should have watched a video of somebody pronouncing your name before I watched this, but I'm not going to sit up here and act like I can say that name, so I'm so sorry. But you were really good in the movie as well. Geraldine, I'm only going to refer to her as Geraldine because I don't know anything else to do referred to her as. But the girl from Cockblockers, Geraldine, she was awesome in the movie as well. I really liked how polar opposite her and Margaret Qualley characters were. I liked their dynamic. I thought it worked very well. Now, see, the issue with the movie is just, it doesn't necessarily know what it wants to be, nor do I ever think it figured out what it actually is. See, it really tries to really dive into so many different genres as far as a road trip movie, a kind of coming of age friendship / romance story, a crime thriller. It tries to be so many different things at once, and it's kind of like we're just watching someone juggle four or five different genres at once and just put them all together as a collaborative movie. And that's really what Drive Away Dolls is. I'm not going to say that it was necessarily a completely failed attempt at, making all these genres kind of fit into one movie, but it was just, you could blatantly, obviously tell that they had so many different ideas of what they wanted this movie to be that they really couldn't decide on just one thing in one single direction to go. So they went in all of them. They went in all different directions and decided to tell this movie as wacky and wonky as they possibly could. I mean, it's funny. I will say that. The movie is definitely funny, has funny moments. Some moments more than others kind of make you go, what? What is going on here? Like I said, Miley Cyrus even makes a cameo herself to ask us if we want to get plastered, and My answer to that question is still yes, but I think I waited too late to even respond because the way it was showing up in the movie, there was so many. First of all, I'm sorry, not first of all, but there are scenes in the film when they are transitioning from one scene to the other. There are these psychedelic scenes that happen, and I'm not necessarily sure why. It's like the transitions from that '70s show when they be dancing in the background, like the characters will be dancing, and then they just have the groovy background or whatever. That's literally what the transitions are in this movie here. I don't know why they were put there, but okay. But like I said, I feel like they were just Ethan Coen was just trying a bunch of stuff and really couldn't like set his mind on what one thing was. And for me, that kind of just messed the movie up in a sense. Like I just felt like they could have really picked a direction they wanted to go in, and it would just, and if they stayed in that direction, it'd be a much better movie. Personally, the strongest part of this movie, like I've already said, is Margaret Qualley and Geraldine's that character dynamic. I felt like if this story was solely focused more on their road trip itself and their friendship and their relationship growing together as are we girlfriend, are we not girlfriend, it's like I felt like that would have been a much better movie to watch. But then you have Coleman Domingo and his henchmen, if you want to, his very wacky henchmen that join the dynamic as well. And then you have Matt Damon's character. It's just, you also have Pedro Pascal. And honestly, when the movie opens, you can tell it's going for a very outrageously silly tone. But it's just like as you progress throughout the movie, it starts to kind of turn into other things. And that's when I say they lose themselves. Because for me personally, when I was getting very emotionally attached to watching Margaret Qualley and Geraldine's relationship kind of expand throughout the movie, we would cut to something that has to deal with whatever the case is in the back trunk. And it would just really go in a place where I'm just like, they lost me. Like, it's like you had me, but you lost me. And the movie, for me personally, just really never found its footing and knew what it wanted to be. And so it just ended up being a whole bunch of things at once. And personally, while that is pretty entertaining, it's just as far as the story goes, it just didn't flow very naturally. And look, so overall, Drive Away Dolls is a fun time for sure. There's plenty to laugh at. Like, I truly think the best way to watch this movie is just to not take it seriously at all. Just sit back, get as high as humanly possible, and just turn your brain off, and you will have a great time with this movie. I think I took this movie a little tad bit more seriously than it was supposed to be, but that's just how it is sometimes. I didn't know how I was supposed to watch this movie for real, but it's definitely one that you can't take too seriously, or a lot of stuff is going to throw you off. It might throw you off in general, but this wasn't like, I don't even know what I was really expecting from this movie. It wasn't necessarily what I thought it was going to be. I'm really expecting Margaret Qualley to kind of like rise. And like I said, her performance is absolutely amazing. But I was expecting her quality of maybe like project choices to rise. And this one kind of took a step back from Poor Things. But I mean, that's Poor Things. That's all the way up there. And Drive Away Dolls is probably right here. But regardless, it's a fun time if you just try not to take it too seriously. But look, for all those reasons and so many more, guys, I'm going to give Drive Away Dolls a 2.25 out of 5 stars. Did not mention this in the review, but Beanie Feldstein is absolutely hysterical in this movie. She is hilarious. Loved her character a lot. She is a big part of the movie as well. But look, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Look, Drive Away Dolls, have you seen it? What did you think about it? Thank you so much for watching, guys. I really do appreciate it. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff and so much more. Look, this is your guy in the chair. More content coming to you soon.